Alright guys, today we're going to test the cheapest chicken feeder on Amazon. So let's get into it. So this chicken feeder is actually 4 feeders in one. And while that's nice, is because you have multiple chickens, obviously. Or I do. And it allows you, here we see, to feed multiple at one time. So what this is, it says it's the Yip Ukiyi. So I'm guessing this is a nice, oh yep, made in China. It's Chinesium, as they say. You got 4-pack of feeders. It comes with the whole saw. Okay, that's really nice because when you're doing this, you don't want to have to go out and buy a whole saw if you don't have it for this size. It says it's high quality, DIY, suitable for all poultry, rainproof, leakage prevent lid design. That's what it says. Keeping feed dry and safe, additional covers, no waste, and gravity feeding. So we're going to put this bad boy to the test and see how it does. How do you open it? Okay, here. So here we have the stoppers. So put these off to the side. In this pack, oh, sounds like we have the whole saw. Yep, and nice. It comes with the center bit. It's the most important. Never seen one with a spring on it. It's removable also. It's got a nut there holding it. And the whole saw should just thread. Yep. Threads on there, and it'll sit there and spin. Not the best quality, but it'll get through a plastic bucket. So here we have included some O-rings here to seal. Here we have 4 feeder heads, and it comes with these 2 rings. I haven't looked at any instructions, and I'm not going to because, well, I'm a man. I don't need instructions. Okay, put this back in here. And here we have there's the instructions, so not going to look at those. I'm sure you've picked up that this is not the only thing that you need for it to be a feeder. You also need a 5-gallon bucket. It's got an old Lowe's bucket here. Lowe's, do it right. Yeah. So you will need that. Now, if you're doing water, they have automatic water kits that you can do. I would use a food grade plastic for sure. But with this being food, with it being a temporary thing, and every day it'll be getting fresh feed put in, I'm not going to be too concerned about it. But that's just something to think about. If you want to go that route, you can go for like $8. I just had this on hand, so it's what I'm going to use. So let's go ahead and get started on this. Alright, so when I attach these, I'm not going to want the hole to go beyond the end of this, obviously. So I'm just going to measure. I'd like to keep it consistent. So I'm going to do it about right here. I'm just going to mark that. And take a measurement so that I can be consistent. Got that 3 inches. And I'll line this up. There we go. First hole in the books. So I'd like for these to remain consistent. So, but it's not that terribly important to me. So I'm just going to eyeball it. Guesstimate somewhere right in here. Man, that's a little bit rough. When you get through that plastic, it wants to take off on you and jump. So again, I'm just going to eyeball it. call it right there. If you want to measure this, you can. If not, you don't really have to. It's not a requirement, but you just want to have, you want it to be pretty nice. Let me remeasure. So you want it to look nice and know that you did your best. I think if more people had that attitude, the world would be much better off. Man, she's tough, son. That hole saw wants to grab on you there, so be careful if you've got a bigger drill. I don't want to break your wrist. Okay. There we go. Looking at this, there's a flange, a lip on this, and the way we want this to work, there's an opening here at the bottom, and we want this to be inside the bucket with the bottom facing down. Okay, so the chicken will stick their head in, you know, bark, 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 coming along, stick its head in, eat out of the bottom, and that way it won't waste. If we had it tilted up like so, if we had it tilted up, then the feed would just pour out. And I did this 2 years ago. I tried to make my own, and I didn't think about it before I did it, and I wasted almost an entire 50-pound bag of laying feed. What you want to do is you want to get this O-ring that was provided by the good people of China, and you just want to place it right here like so. And again, when you do this, make sure you insert it face down. And then we'll take a plastic ring, insert it into the bucket, and it should just, oh, I do that upside down. Not really sure. Okay, you just want to secure that on there. And you're going to have to pull this tight with your hand. If you cannot do it with your hand, I'd advise you to go get some grip trainers and some meaty forearms. Or you could just get you a pair of pliers, and that's probably what I'll end up doing to just tighten this up and sure it up enough so that we don't have spillage. So there we go. There's the first one. There's a flange or a lip also on this, and when you do this, you want the lip to be placed up against the bucket, and then it just screws on. Hopefully I didn't expand my hole too big, my opening. Let's see, you should be able to just slide it up and correct itself. Yep, there we go. So when you do this, you want to make sure it's centered up, because what I had, it actually wanted to start recessing into the bucket. So I've got this all finished up, and each one is holding secure inside the bucket. If you can see, that looks like this. And again, the feed is just going to go in to the bucket, and then it's going to, you know, gravity's going to do its job. It's going to fall to the bottom, and then chickens will be able to stick their head in and eat. Now, some things that I can already see that could go wrong with this: if it's really damp outside and you've got a laying mash or something that's like really fine powder, I could see it clumping up and not wanting to feed through. So you're going to want to check this daily. And then it comes with these stoppers. I'm not going to use these, but we'll look at them just for the sake of, because they sent them to me. They just pop in. But you know, actually I might use that. I don't know. It's a nice feature to have, just to be able to stop it up. So, oh, good old Leatherman. Can't beat them. Look at that. Yeah, this thing's great. So, I might do a review on it later. So let's go see how it works with feed. So here's where the rubber is going to meet the road. I've got some meat bird crumble here. Oh, here comes the hennies wanting some. Their hands. And this crumble is a very fine dust. And let's see if we waste any. Oh, yep. I shook it there, it did. So, don't shake it like I did. That was not a good idea. But, other than that, it's not wasting any feed. You can see right in here, chickens will actually be able to stick their head in and eat. Alright, so here's the real test. I'm going to string this up. Oh, we've already got one in it. Smart creatures. So they flocked around it, but you can see the limitation with this. And the limitation with this is that only one, maybe two at most, can feed. Whereas over here, you have your conventional style feeder. I built this out of just some rough cedar. But you can see they can line up and eat around it. So if you have just a few birds, this will be okay. But I don't think this is a really good option for meat birds. Here you can see around the trough, I filled it up. This just works so much better for these meat birds because they eat and eat and eat and eat. They will literally not let another bird in if they can keep eating at the same place. So meat birds is probably not the best option to use this style feeder, but I think this will work great for our laying hens that we have. So as you can see, this bucket does have some limitations. If you're going to be using this, I would advise you to use it in the capacity for laying hens. Now it would work if I wanted to buy multiple of these, but that would be more expensive than going out and buying individual trough style feeders. So you definitely want to think about the amount of birds that you have and think about what capacity they're being used for. A heritage laying hen breed will not eat so much compared to these meat birds. So I'm going to give this another shot here in a couple weeks whenever we get the laying hens outside, and we'll get my take on it then. But I'll be posting that update. So thanks for watching. Consider subscribing to the channel. We're dedicated to homesteading, being self-sufficient, and doing things ourselves, doing things to the glory of God, doing things the best that we can. So if that resonates with you and you agree with that type of lifestyle, consider giving this a thumbs up and subscribing and following along. I'm glad to have you here, and I appreciate you viewing and everything you do.